There was never any violence, no guns, shots going off, during all the people. We talking about the Brevoort projects I used to play in.
Wow. Okay.
Packed. The place would be packed. People would be standing outside on the curb looking through the fence, while we were jamming. Never had any issue.
Wow. And that's
you can't do that now.
But that's Bed-Stuy, right?
Yeah, that's Bed-Stuy and Crown Heights. We played in Flatbush too. And,
okay.
Good projects.
Okay. What
Rockaway projects too, but at the Far Rockaway, we played out there also.
No violence.
No violence. None.
Why is that though?
It was the music. The music made people happy. You don't have these hyped up lyrics like, I would get my gat or, or calling people out of name, get people like, okay, I'm gonna step to this person. No, you didn't have that. The music made people happy. They went home with as you say, a tuning in their hearts. Their record was like the most popular. They went home with that sound,
Oh man. Serious time error.
Then it was the thing that was fantastic about the whole thing. A lot of people had not seen a good mobile DJ setup. We brought the music to the people who didn't have money, to go out to the clubs and all that kind of stuff, especially the younger people. But we brought the music to the people, and they were most appreciative.
So, what, man? I'm thinking because I remember the block parties. I remember, the park jams, and I don't even remember anything jumping off back in the days. So I think you're right about the music was a threat.
Yeah, because the music was uplifting. It was uplifting and just set a good tone. There was no harsh lyrics being thrown about in the music.
Let me ask you something. What does it mean when they would say a DJ can make a record?
You mean
break a record, rather?
What you mean break it? You mean bring the record out to people who never heard before?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, we were responsible. Matter of fact, there's an article. I think I might have sent you. Who breaks the record? The radio station or the DJ? We played the black mobile DJs played a lot of underground cuts that radio stations didn't know about, and even the industry who were producing, they had no idea how valuable some of the artists that they had on their label were doing, because they wasn't pushing them their music the way we were pushing their music, because I got a lot of stuff that I play on the radio station that I'm quite sure a lot of people never even heard before, especially when I travel outside the country to Australia, and I was playing Going to See My Baby by the Fatback Band, and this one dancer, he came up to me, he said, "Man, I never heard that before." We're talking, that record came out, 1975, and here it was like 2017, and it was like new to them, but they loved it.
Right.
You see the video, they're dancing over it. I got a lot of underground cuts that these hip hoppers who came afterwards, they don't even know about, because most of the time that I hear them talk is the same old records that I hear. Okay, you got Baby Huey, give it, you got James Brown, Give It Up, Turn It Loose. You got It Just Begun. I said, all right, so what else did you spin besides those? What else? I don't hear it. They don't talk about the other records.
So you still have in your arsenal some breaks.
Yes, lots. Let me show you a
Okay.
couple. Hold on. I just pulled out. All right, so here's one of my favorites, and like, well, first I'll show you the version that I can you see it? Or did I?
There it is.
Yeah,
Pull it up.
okay.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so you see I scratched out the title, right?
Right. I see. I thought you was gonna let us see it. I thought you were slipping for a minute.
So yeah. Oh, that's the wrong side. So this one, Bus Stop by Oliver Sane.
Okay.
Then another one, same label, the same company. Yeah, Funky Music is the thing. That was like the summer record. But yeah, a lot of these, I don't hear them talking about these at all. But you had to be a master. See, when Flash came along, that's when the 12-inch records were available for him. We didn't at the time. We didn't have the 12-inch single. The 12-inch single came around late 75 or 76. I think they started making them for the DJ. But prior to that, you had the albums, then you had the 45s. And the 45s had a part 1 and part 2. So if you wanted that break to keep going, you had to have the 245 records and mix them masterfully so nobody would know you were going from one record to the next.
So they weren't on side A and side B.
Yeah. You got one side, then the other side. Part
Okay.
1, part 2. Yeah.
All right. Wow.
Yeah. These guys don't know anything. Well, if you ask them about 45s, you'll see the response you get. You know, because a lot of our breaks came off those 45 records.
Let me ask you a question. I know right now we're in a technological age. Some people some people think, we're still like certain DJs are still in the Stone Age. But do you believe that a person that spins, say they spin on a laptop, how would you compare them to a DJ that knows their way around turntables?
Well,
or can you?
I got the laptop connection, but it still allows me to play vinyl.
Okay.
I can go back and forth between the two. I don't particularly care for those what do they call it, CDJs or those DR, those mixing boards with just the round device in the middle. That's not a DJ to me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I know a lot of DJs they use them, but I prefer,
tables.
Yeah, having some vinyl in my hand.
Okay.
That's what I prefer. Because I like the feel of it and it's authentic to me. And plus, like I said, it allows me to go back and forth between MP3s and real vinyl.
Right.
A lot of the records that I have in my collection are not available. They're out of print.
So, I mean, see, you're able to make the transition. Do you think the DJs, the new age DJs, do you
Oh, they
think?
didn't have a hard time back in the day.
Okay. All right. That's what I was going to ask. All right.
They would have a hard time because didn't have the mixer that tell us how many beats per minute, that where break part. You know, we looked at the album. We could tell by the darkened lines where to put the needle on a particular part of the record. We studied the records. You know, we studied them.
Mm.
You know.
So let me ask you something. Do you think it's important for DJs to know how, like the new age DJs, to know how to at least spin on vinyl?
Yes.
Just the basics, at least, to be able to blend records in.
For me, I say yes. It's a foundation of being a DJ. You know,
Okay.
The technology made it easier for basically anybody that wanted to be a DJ to get on board real quick. But to become a master takes some time.
Right.
To be a true master takes time.
That's true.
Like these guys, what I call the tunnel vision with just the hip hop. All right, you know, I get it. That would be like me saying, all right, disco. You know, a DJ, in my opinion, is a person who can flow from one genre to the next while keeping the crowd on the dance floor. You know, and for me, there's just too much great music out there for me just to focus on one style. And personally, as a DJ, that would bore me. Like if I played disco records all night, boom, 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 you know, with that same beat, you know, it would drive me crazy. So the ability to have the skill to mix it up seamlessly, you know, with the other genres, it really is it's a skill. It truly is.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about some of the artists that you enjoy spinning. You know, a couple of your sets. You know,
one of my favorite groups from the 70s was this group from Ohio called Mass Production.
Okay.
Mass Production was a big group, instruments, horns, the whole 9 yards, female singer, but they always had this driving sound to their music, you know, and they could get funky, they could get R&B, they could get jazzy with it. You know, they had, oh my God, they were phenomenal. They didn't get the push like they should have gotten from the record industry. Sun was another group. I think they were from Ohio. A lot of funky groups came out of Ohio back then. And once I started backtracking some of the history, you know, South Soul, definitely Philadelphia International had it going on. You know, obviously Funkadelics were Parliament. They were another one of my favorite groups. Ohio Players, you know, First Choice, those females. Oh my God, I love them. You know, their cuts. A lot of people don't know a lot of their earlier cuts are Armed, Extremely Dangerous, and Newsy Neighbors. I'm like, Newsy Neighbors got one of the funkiest breaks in the world. Boom, boom, chicka chat, 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 boom, boom, chicka chat, chat. Oh man, you'd lose your mind when that kicked in. You know, and plus the DJs like Plummer and Flowers who know how to keep it going and then take it back to the beginning of the record without you even knowing you were back in the beginning, and then the record break part will come back in again. Oh shit, you know, yeah. You know, and there's just a few.
Wow.
And obviously, Earth, Wind, and Fire, you know, was
okay.
in the mix, you know.
Well, let me ask you something. Well, name some of the spots back in the days in Brooklyn that you guys really frequent.
When I wasn't playing.
Yeah, when you were playing. Like
you got the Promoter. You got Midwood Terrace. You got Club My Way.
Where's that at? Where was that located?
My Way. Oh my God, I had to look it up, but it was It was over by Kings County Hospital, one side street. I forgot the name of the street that was there.
All right, keep coming. Let's go.
Biltmore Terrace,
Oh,
another spot, Airport Astor, another spot, Club Leo, another spot. Darn. See, this is why I got a list. Like, they're all on a list, but on top, those are just some of the few.
okay.
Yeah.
So
the President Chateau was another spot that we played at frequently. That was in Crown Heights.
that was in Crown Heights. Okay.
You're gonna bust my brain over.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I was listening because I know Professor X, rest in power, had mentioned that Russell Simmons was also around at that particular club.
But President Chateau?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that he would go through there from time to time. And this is before everybody's the who's who.
Right.
In the industry. So wow, that's pretty deep. So what would you say to some of the DJs and the people around the world that didn't think Brooklyn was connected to hip hop?
They didn't do their homework, their research. One of my partners, who was the original Fantasia, Cool D, he was from the Bronx, and that's the Brooklyn Bronx connection. And we're talking before Hurt got popular. We're talking before Flash got popular. Cool D and Tyrone, that's my Bronx brothers.
Okay.
We started out together.
Okay.
They're the ones that invited Fantasia up to the Bronx. That's when you see those flyers. Fantasia invited guests on some of these later hip hop parties. They knew of us. We played up there at least 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
And the last time we played up there was in '76 at the Savoy Manor, I think it was called. Us and Cool D. It was the Easter gig. And I gotta tell you, that was one of the most enjoyable times I had spending up there in the Bronx. And, ain't nobody came up to me, oh, you need to play some hip hop. No, the people were just enjoying the music. Both of us, he had the lower floor, I had the upper floor, and we were just getting busy that day. Place was packed too. It was packed.
So, all right, I'm glad because you're talking about just music in general. All right, so you guys played everything. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, because like I said, you taking a look at the crowd. Who's in the crowd that you playing for? You got hustle. You got a mixture of dances. You got hustle dances, and you got, like I said, freestyle dancing. You don't have one set style of people coming to the party at that spot. So you gotta mix it up for everybody, so they get a chance to get their stuff off. Yeah, you had to.
And let me ask you, how many? This is a technical question, for some of the DJs. How many needles did you guys go through in a night or a month? How did some people forget about the needles? You guys had to use needles.
I had these needles back then called Disco Duties. I think they were made by Stanton, and they were pretty rugged. Because that's what they were built for, for the DJ, that back spinning and, See, here's the thing about this whole thing about scratching, about who invented it. We all invented it because when you're queuing up the next record, you're rocking that record back and forth in the groove. All right, so somebody left the sound open and they heard, the crowd could hear them bringing the record back and forth. So apparently somebody liked the sound and then they ran with it. You know, you have to keep rocking that record, scratch that record back and forth to keep it in the groove before you let it go.
So everybody was doing that back then.
You have to, as a DJ, that's just part of the DJ manual, you know.
Okay.
You know, keep that record in the groove. So when you want to let it go on the right spot, whatever you mixing, bam, you know, you nail it.
Okay.
What I would do sometimes is tease the crowd by just bringing in a little bit of the music and then bringing it back out. You know, that's what I would do with the scratching. You know, a little bit back, a little bit back. You know, but I didn't let them hear me scratching back and forth. You know, but yeah, that's what I would do.
Wow. So you were. It brings me back to what DJ Jones has stated, that there were so many contributors to hip hop.
Oh my God, yes.
You know, it's too many to name.
You know, but I would just start with the list of brothers who are on those party flyers, those big party flyers that had all those DJs from all the different boroughs. But I can honestly say, I think the majority of the mobile DJs came out of Brooklyn.
Okay.
You know, because, all right, so you told me to get in hop hop and they talk Flash and Herc. You know how many DJs we had compared to those two names back in Brooklyn that were booming? I can just, off the top of my head, give you 5. You know, and then you got Queens, you got New Sounds, you got Infinity Machine. You know?
So all the DJs pretty much contribute to the culture that we know.
Sure they did, because the music that we brought to the people that they heard is the foundation from all these hip hop beats come from. Somebody didn't just wake up one day and say, what? I'm gonna play hip hop. There was no hip hop. You
Right.
heard the music that was already being played and you slapped another label on it. It's basically funk. Funk is the foundation of all hip hop music. Without any funk, there's no hip hop. There's none whatsoever. You know, you hear all the early rap songs. Yeah, bring me the funky music, whatever they got in the music, you know. They say the funk. Boom. All the break beats are funky beats from all these records. So now you're going to slap another label on it? Oh, you're going to go back, oh, that was hip-hop. No, it wasn't hip-hop. It's a funk record. That's the group. It wasn't hip-hop. That's the group. With the break part on it, you know. You can't slap another label on it like that.
Sure.
You know, let's be real.
Oh, wow.
You heard the music that we were playing. You ran with you took out the rest of maybe the R&B or that, so you just focused on the funk. But it's still funk music.
Okay.
Slice it, dice it. It's funky music.
Okay. I like that. I like that.
No, there was a documentary on it a few years back about funk music, and and the guy, a famous guy, I forgot who his name was. He said, "Yeah, funk is the foundation what hip hop is based on."
Let me ask you. Let's also go back to the 2 turntables and the Mobile DJ Foundation. It was said that it was stated there was a couple of brothers that came from overseas as well that helped contribute to the turntables.
Well, here's the thing about that whole concept. I did some research, and the radio stations back in the day, we were talking about before I was born, they had like 2 and 3 turntable setups,
Right.
And there you go. It just got transferred to the mobile guys.
The
There was always more than one turntable at these radio stations.
Right. Well, you know what? Name a couple of the turntables that you guys was using at that time.
Oh, I started out with a BSR and a Garage turntable. I started out with, and then I elevated to duals. I like the duals because the motor that they had the torque was so good that once you release that record, bam, it would just hit it on that point all the time. There was no lag, that's a belt drive, but those direct drive, the torque on those things sometimes you had to, it was so strong you had to really hold on to the turntable, which would slip away from you because the torque was so powerful. But once you let that record go in that spot, bam, it would just nail it. That's why I used to surprise the crowd sometime where certain record would build to a high point, and then I come in with that next record, like they got hit over the head with a hammer. I would just bam, they would scream, literally. I'm not making this up,
Wow.
Yeah, I love those turntables. Then everybody was going after the techniques, and I didn't want to have the same type of turntables as the other DJs. So I went with these Pioneers. That was the less set that I had.
Well, also, like, what's the difference between we giving a DJ education crash course real quick here? What was the difference between straight arm and the curve arm turntables?
Well, back then, the duals that I had, they had straight arms, and from what they're saying, technically, that the curve arm of the S shape gave you better tracking for your DJ. But I didn't have any problem spinning anything on those duals with that straight arm, not at all. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a preference kind of thing, because you can still DJ with a straight arm. It's what you like.
Okay, so you can still spin with a straight arm.
Yeah, sure you can.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
We're putting that out there. All right, my man DJ Chip. Once again, where can we catch you?
You can catch me on Facebook. My DJ Chips page is on there, and also the virtual Urban Museum of Mobile DJing. Both pages focus on historical facts about DJing and back in the day. And also I'm on Instagram at ElectricGod62, which I post audio of some of my classic 45s. And every Friday on Facebook, I play a classic 45. I call it Funky Friday, so most of the 45s are funky records.
All right.
Funky underground records. If you never heard them before, you could catch them with me.
Okay. And I want to thank Chip for coming through. And also, I want to also tell some of the folks to check out your tribute mix to Pete DJ Jones and your
yes, I get a lot of responses back from his family members and other people who thank me for the tribute, because in my opinion, the Bronx should have paid better homage to Pete.
Yeah.
He passed away, and they did not.
Yeah, Pete
that's on them. That's on them. Those guys that he brought through, that helped them get started, and he did. He brought a lot of those guys who are now, booming, so to speak. He brought them through.
Pete was a gentle giant, and also want to give a shout out to KC.
KC, the Prince of Soul, and JJ, the Disco King.
Okay.
All of these guys, Setley B, all these guys who were rapping on the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were rapping on the mic. They didn't rap all night, but they got in there and they did their thing to get the crowd moving their own little stuff.
This is pre-80s. This is before the 80s.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We just I had to throw that out there. Also, you know, again, thank you, my man Chip. I want to
anytime. It's a pleasure. Get the history out there. There's so much that we try to squeeze in here in this video book. Yeah.
And y'all can check us out, illbrew.com. I'm gonna see if we can do some get some instrumentals by DJ Chip and kind of lace this interview. All right.
That'd be good. Oh, we get some other people or young people who are interested in on the panel and have them ask them questions. But they can send me questions at any time.
Okay. That's what's up. All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Shop at the Il Brew store for your officially licensed apparel, books, vinyl, and your favorite clothing brands on illbrew.com, your online urban connection.